What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video, another draft video. This one is a fun one to do as I'm talking about the best picks of the first round, and that's not only for talent but for value of the spot as well. So we're talking about some potential steals and just some great players going to some good situations as well. So if you guys are new here, would appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. Ton of draft content has already been uploaded to the channel, and a ton more is on the way. We're on the path towards 200,000 subscribers, so the more the merrier. Hit that subscribe button, and of course, if you got some draft questions, be sure to fire them my way over on Twitter, twitter.com/BengalDesigns. Link is in the description below. I'll be live on Twitch during the second and third round today if you're watching this on the 24th. So make sure to hit up twitch.tv/Bengal. Again, every link that you're going to need is in the description. But this is a really fun video because we get to talk about some of the best players in the draft, go into some great situations. But without further ado, I'm not going to make you guys wait any longer. Let's go ahead and talk about some of these players. Pick that I absolutely loved, JEUDY to the Denver Broncos. This was my #1 receiver in the draft, and the fact that he was available at number 15, I think was fantastic. Second receiver off the board. Henry Ruggs went to the Raiders at 12. JEUDY is a beast, man. This is a fantastic complimentary piece to Courtland Sutton as well. This was just a pick that made so much sense, and it was no wonder John Elway was excited as he was in his own little war room, because JEUDY is a stud. This is someone that can definitely move inside and be a dominating force in the slot. Doesn't do so well against press man, but against off man, this is the best receiver in the draft. Against zone coverage, he's going to torch you. He's going to get open. He has the best feet. He is the best route runner. Has fairly consistent hands. Concentration drops are a thing that happened to Calvin Johnson, and Calvin Johnson was one of the best receivers I've ever seen, if not the very best that I've ever seen, at least in my generation. Calvin, absolute stud. I mean, I saw Randy Moss near the tail end, but Calvin Johnson was absolutely incredible, and he had concentration drops. That's not the point. JEUDY is the best route runner in the class, and that's the thing that I value the most with wide receivers. I mean, hands is right there, but route running is a fantastic ability to have, and JEUDY is so good in that role. You have Courtland Sutton on the outside. He's your prototypical X receiver. He's the big #1 target. JEUDY can come inside. He can play in the slot. He can play on the outside. This guy can do it all. JEUDY is a really good player. He'll make you miss in space. He'll get over the top. This is Amari Cooper meets Calvin Ridley. I mean, this is a really solid player, and a fantastic #1 to 2 on the Denver Broncos. I absolutely love this pick for them. Next up, we have Joe Burrow. Had to talk about him. Sure, he went #1 overall, but this is the team that needed a franchise quarterback, and I think they got one in Joe Burrow. The best day one QB that you're going to find in the draft, maybe since Andrew Luck. Burrow is an absolute stud. Pocket mobility is exceptional. Senses pressure with the best of any quarterback that I've studied personally, and I've been doing this since about 2014. Joe Burrow is fantastic. Has great poise, great toughness, and these are good traits for quarterbacks to have. Obviously, he's an accurate passer, has a decent arm, has a good deep ball. He's someone that's not afraid to take chances, and I like that. And with the receiving core that the Bengals have with AJ Green, with Tyler Boyd, you can take those chances because those are good receivers, especially AJ Green. Even though he's getting older, he is fading. Even Auden Tate, that's a good jump ball receiver. Joe Burrow loves to throw those 50-50 balls, and I can see him struggling with turnovers a little bit in his first year just because of his incredible receiving core at LSU that he just let them go up and make plays. But Burrow, it was the sheer #1 overall pick by a mile. The Bengals had to take a quarterback, and they got one in Joe Burrow. They got a very good player. And that brings up my #1 overall player in the entire draft, and that is Chase Young. This is a pass rusher with zero flaws, incredible run defender, and he is near unblockable. You cannot put this guy in a one-on-one situation or he will beat you. Double team him. You can't just chip him with a tight end or a running back. He will still get to the quarterback. You saw teams like Wisconsin triple team this guy to make sure that he didn't make an impact. And with a defensive line and a front seven that Chase Young is going to in Washington, that's not going to be possible because you have to worry about Jonathan Allen. You have to worry about Deron Payne. Ryan Kerrigan can still make offensive line sweat. Speaking of sweat, Montez Sweat. First-round pick out of Mississippi State last year. That was not intentional, but I'm very happy it worked out that way. That was a fun pun. Montez Sweat freak athlete as well. You're not going to be able to account for both of these guys. And now I think Chase Young immediately is the best pass rusher on that team. I don't think that's crazy to say. Chase Young is that transcendent of a player. He is such a talented player that as a Giants fan, I am in sheer terror and shock of what this Redskins defensive line and especially front seven is probably going to do to my Giants offensive line in the coming years. This is a frightening pick. I hated it as a Giants fan, but Redskins fans have to be happy. You got the best player in the draft, and he is probably going to wreak havoc on that Redskins team. Next up is Isaiah Simmons. I like this pick a lot. I think this was good value. I didn't really see him ever going to the Giants at 4, even though this was kind of the guy that I wanted. He's maybe my favorite player in the entire draft. Just was so fun to watch at Clemson. A guy that really can do it all, and that's been hyped up. I'm not going to talk to you about his versatility too much. And for this guy, is no real position. Here's what I think is going to happen. The Cardinals, who struggled so heavily to cover the tight end last year, that was the main storyline of their defense, is they got brutalized by opposing tight ends. Isaiah Simmons solves that problem right away. This is probably your weak side linebacker. I know they've loved the money backer in Arizona over the past few years. This is your prototypical strong safety, can play the will, can come and play that weak side linebacker role, can play him in the nickel. I think he moves all around the kind of left side of the field, strong safety, weak side linebacker. He'll move around the field a little bit and just take away the tight end. This is someone that can cover. This is someone that can maybe not fill lanes as well as you'd like from an every down linebacker, but someone that can play extremely well and effectively in space. Closing speed is his best trait, and he will make offenses pay. If guards do not pull in time, if tackles don't get out in front in time, if the tight end doesn't pick him up and he gets around, he's going to be a tackle for loss waiting to happen. Of course, goes without saying with his cover abilities, has played over the top at Clemson a lot, has played a little bit of boundary cornerback, has excelled in the nickel. Isaiah Simmons is a tremendous player, and the Cardinals just went with their best player available, and you really can't hate that pick at all. Next up, Jedrick Wills. This was my number 1 tackle in the draft. Great athlete. I think he's probably the best pure day 1 starter of any tackle in the draft, so I wanted him for the Giants at number 4. This isn't a video about the Giants, it's a video about best picks in the draft. And Jedrick Wills was certainly one of them. Fell to number 10, and he is going to be an incredible starter day 1 for the Browns. They're going to move him over to left tackle. He's a tremendous athlete with tremendous technique. Awesome feet, awesome hands. Punch power is maybe the best in the entire class at offensive tackle. Jedrick Wills is a beast. He's going to be playing that left side. They got Jack Conklin. They have Baker Mayfield, his protectors, at tackle now. There's no excuse. Baker's got to step up, play like he did in his rookie season. And the Browns are a team that could compete in what should be an extremely exciting AFC North. Browns, Ravens, Steelers could come in. And of course, who could forget about Joe Burrow and the Bengals? It's going to be a fun division to watch. You got all these young quarterbacks and Big Ben. And you got these young, exciting defenses and players. And I mean, the AFC North is just going to be a division to watch out for, because if the Steelers come back with a vengeance, who's taking that division? You'd have to go with the Ravens based off last season. I think the Browns can make a play for it. You have to see Baker Mayfield take that step, because he took a step backwards last year, and that's not what you want from your franchise quarterback. Next up, CeeDee Lamb. This was a tough one for me to stomach as a Giants fan. I keep going back to it, but this is not necessarily what you're going to see on ESPN or NFL Network. I'm a guy, I'm a person, I'm a fan of the sport, I'm a fan of a team, and I love the Giants. I'm a big Texas Longhorns fan. Story behind that is a bunch of family that went there. Been a Texas Longhorns fan from a young age, and I like CeeDee Lamb a lot. Love CeeDee Lamb. I hate Oklahoma. Yet sometimes there are players that are so talented, like Adrian Peterson for me at Oklahoma, that you can't help but love them and root for them, because they're just that amazing of a talent and that tremendous of a player. And that, for me, was CeeDee Lamb most recently. I feel like I'm almost more of a fan of football than any individual team, but that's where I show my passion. But I love CeeDee Lamb, dude. CeeDee Lamb was so fun to watch at Oklahoma. Not so much when he was torching Texas, but just in general. He's an incredible player with elite ball skills. Best run after the catch of anyone in the draft in terms of making people miss. Jerry Jeudy's up there. Henry Ruggs will run by you after he's caught the football, but CeeDee Lamb will bounce off you. He will make you miss. He'll juke you out. He'll stiff arm you. He'll get down the field, and you won't have any idea how he's past you until he's already way gone. He's an incredible player, and of course, he's going to the Dallas Cowboys, which I hate. Now they have Amari Cooper, who is tough enough to cover as it is, one of the best route runners in the NFL. You have Michael Gallup, who's an emerging stud. He would be one of the best receivers in the NFL, probably top 15, if not for Dak Prescott's inability to hit him on routes consistently. That has been a big issue. If you don't think it has been, you haven't been watching the games. Now they get a stud third receiver. I don't even know where they're going to line all these guys up because they have 3 outside receivers. Amari Cooper maybe is the most likely to move into the slot out of all those guys. CeeDee Lamb could play as a big slot. I mean, they have so much potential. They have so much ability to be one of the best offenses in football with an amazing running game led by Ezekiel Elliott, and now you have a crazy receiver trio in CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup. This was a fantastic pick for the Cowboys, in my opinion. This is like a can't-miss player. And the last pick of this video is going to be Patrick Queen, one of my favorite players in the entire class as well. He was my draft crush leading into things. He was a top 15 player on my board, and I love Patrick Queen. I think he was extremely underrated by draft analysts coming into things, and he should have been considered one of the best players in the entire draft. I had him, again, in the top 15. He just wasn't given that type of hype, in my opinion. And he went at number 28 in the draft, behind Kenneth Murray, behind Jordan Brooks, for goodness sake. I mean, Patrick Queen is not only a tremendous athlete, but he's someone that covers well in space consistently. Great cover linebacker. He's someone that flies sideline to sideline, makes tackles, sheds blocks. I mean, not only that, he's maybe the best, most instinctive linebacker in the entire class. This is a guy who diagnoses run plays and knows where he has to be, what lanes he has to fill. Patrick Queen is just such a well-balanced stud waiting to happen out of LSU. I mean, it's a wonder how these LSU linebackers keep dropping with Deion Jones and now Patrick Queen. Obviously, Devin White went a little bit higher last year as he went at number 5 overall. But Patrick Queen, I think, is almost just as good of a prospect as Devin White, if not better. I mean, I love Patrick Queen that much as a player. He is and this was just a stronger draft class, but I mean, Patrick Queen, I think, is an incredible talent. The Ravens really needed to go out and get a linebacker. They lost to Wasso. They lost C.J. Mosley. Of course, these were within the past 2 years. I mean, you lost so much talent at that linebacker position, and this is your linebacker of the future. This is exactly what a linebacker in today's NFL looks like. Size, speed, coverability, can fill lanes and shed blocks. I mean, Patrick Queen does it all. Some inconsistency in defending the run at times with shedding blocks against bigger offensive linemen. But this is someone with an incredibly high ceiling, is going to, day one, be one of the better cover linebackers in the NFL. Patrick Queen is a stud. But that is going to do it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.
We'll